Ladies and gentlemen, we have the number 5 ranked Kansas and Missouri Midwest Bantamweight, right? 16th in the Midwest. He has his pro debut February 4th. It's at Memorial Hall. It's through Synergy Fighting Championship. I'm super excited about that whole card. So if you need tickets, get with him. And he's a fellow father, fighter, real estate financier. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Schrader.
What's up, y'all?
What's good, Ty? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man.
How was Christmas?
It was great, dude.
It was good?
Yeah.
Did you said you have your little daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You beautiful family.
Thank you.
Like, I saw the pictures of all 3 of you,
Yeah.
your girlfriend and them, and I'm like, man, like, this dude has, it's not this picture perfect, of course, because it's a picture, but, like, I remember going to Gladstone a few years ago where I met you, Sam, Mike, Trisham, and all these dudes, and there wasn't, it wasn't what you thought it was when you walked into a gym. Like, when I walk into a gym, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna, like, have to just buckle down and take the beating and do this and that, which in an extent you do. But it was more of like this team environment where it's a cultivation of you can do better if I do better and we do better together, and it kind of grows that way. And that was something I didn't expect when I was going in there to see you guys at all. And one of the few memories I have is seeing you and your little daughter in a gi.
Mm-hmm.
The same, like, matching gis. And I'm like, I've never been scared of, like, a small toddler before.
You don't have to be scared of my daughter. She's soft, dude. It's very soft, yeah.
And are you purple belt in jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm. I got my purple belt in 2020.
Which did you find first, MMA or jiu-jitsu? Or they go hand in hand?
Jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I didn't even start at Glory. I'm probably the first person on here who didn't start at Glory.
No shit.
Yeah.
Where'd you start?
It's a place called Wildfire. It's in Riverside. So I've always been super active, working out all the time. And I just got to the point where I was on this wild shift. I was working out, like, alone all the time. And I was like, man, like, I kind of want to do something else, you know? So I was looking at, like, other martial arts. I would sit at work and watch highlights of, like, Taekwondo highlights and kickboxing. Yeah. So I rolled into, like, a kickbox or a Taekwondo spot. I was like,
you were like, not what I'm
bunch of kids. I rolled into a Krav Maga spot. I was like, all right, dude, these guys are legit, right? And they don't even spar, you know? So I was like, Then I saw jiu-jitsu. I didn't even know what it was, really. I saw jiu-jitsu highlights. I was like, these motherfuckers are wrestling out here in clothes. Mm-hmm. So, like, I just Googled jiu-jitsu. I looked at a couple spots, and Glory popped up, but their website at the time was trash. Yeah. And Wildfire was closer to me. So I rode my bike to the gym that day, or, that next day, and I took my first jiu-jitsu class. I got my blue belt in, like, 9 months.
Damn.
Yeah, I was there, like, I was probably doing, like, 12 classes a week.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm in, I'm dedicated. Yeah. I want to fucking wrestle and do Well, and to me, it was like, that's the thing that drew me in, too, because you can watch. I like to say I'm one of the evolved UFC fans, where you were watching it originally for, like, oh, Connor's going to knock this dude out and blah, blah, blah. But then you were like, there's something more, like, complicated when they, like, grapple and use the cage and do these things. People are still cheering. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, those are the more evolved fans rather than like, fucking kill him. They're like, no, watch that. Watch the position. Watch. Okay, he got it. And so jiu-jitsu was like, I love to play chess. And I'm like, I'm playing chess with people right now. Yeah. Like, you're feeling out where they're going to put their pieces. Where are they setting this up? Is it a trap? Are they trying to lure me with this? And that was the little, like, dopamine rush of, like, he didn't get that, like, I saw it, right? Yeah. And then I always say it, I'm going to say it to every Gladstone dude that walks through, but I had the wrong idea when I went to the gym. Like,
yeah, I listened to some of your podcasts. Yeah, I heard you bring
dude, it was so bad. Like, I bet if I walked up to Zach, he'd still be like, oh, I know you. But I was also, when I went there, the only thing I can remember that was consistent was I wore a Spider-Man gi. Or not gi, Rash guard. Yeah. And I still remember, I was like, oh, look at that. That's his daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm terrified of her. But then, like, 2 boys walked up and they were like, are you Spider-Man? Are you real? Like, they really believed it. And I go, I have a choice. I have a choice here. I can either, like, just get this for myself, or I can, like, give it back to them with, like, some creativity and some, like, like, the imagination go. And I was like, Shay. I'm like, yes. But I was like, but you can't tell anybody. I was like, I'm just here to learn to be a superhero like the rest of these guys. And they were like, and then they looked at all of you guys like, okay. Like they were like, they had like this secret. And I'm like, there's so many memories of just being there and being with you guys. And you in the gym, I remember, and Mike said this, he was like, he's crazy.
Everybody calls me crazy, yeah.
But he is the best guy in there. He, like, the best. And I was like...
Thanks, Murray.
And I fully believed it because I was like, I do not want to, because I couldn't block, couldn't do any of this stuff. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm not going with this guy. And even that was a few years ago. And I was like, he's got a very direct path to success in like MMA, whatever he wants. There's something, I could just tell there's like an energy off of you from the mindset you have. That's like, this is it. This is what I need to do. This is it. And then once I get that, then I've completed this task, but then that leads to the next one. And it's just like, there's certain people out there who, you know, whether they fight, whether they do, you know, we're going to get into real estate eventually. If they do all this stuff, it's not in a mindset that's like, what can I do long term? It's like, how can I achieve this right now? And everyone I've talked to, they were like, Ty has a list, set amount of things on this list, and then he has to accomplish those regardless. So not only is he driven in the gym by that, but then his own, you can't stop him inside of his own mind. And I go, I got to talk to this guy. So,
it's interesting to hear what other people think. What other people think is going through my mind. So.
Yeah, well, you drive them, whether you know it or not. You were like, oh, I want to be like Ty, where he has all these things set out. And Sam brought up, because I know that most of the guys that come on, they're like, yes, we do MMA, we fight, and this is, you know, it's a really good atmosphere to bring people in to talk. But you are in this real estate like bubble that is changing other people's lives, and one of them was Sam. Mm-hmm. And he said that you helped him seal a second property for him.
Yeah.
How'd you get into the real estate game?
Dude, by accident.
That's how most things.
So, yeah, we were talking earlier, but it was my last fight was last January, and I was struggling like mentally with a lot of like life things were getting in the way, you know. COVID happened, and I got this amazing opportunity to spend all this time with I have full custody of my daughter. So
congratulations.
Yeah. I got this opportunity to spend all this time with my kid. I put her on the bus for her first day of kindergarten, like for like weeks, because like we weren't working. I work in a factory. Right. We weren't working. And so I got to see like what, like the things I was missing out on. And by the time that fight had came around, and also during all that time, I got all these opportunities. We were getting laid off of work all the time from part shortages and the microchip bullshit.
Oh my gosh, you know? Yeah, it hit everything.
Yeah, but it was awesome because I fist fought so many people. I got to train all the time. So I was like, yeah, like bring it like that. But by last January, all that had kind of gone away, and I was like at this point where I didn't get to put my kid on the bus. I didn't get to get her off. It was it was stressful. I knew my whole family was helping me out. My mom, my dad, my kid brothers, you know, but one of them was joining the Marines. One of them was graduating and getting ready to go to college. So like I knew that like my time was limited for all this like amazing help that I had. I was like, shit, like how am I gonna handle this next year? How am I gonna handle this the year after that and the year after that? Like I don't have anybody else to help me with this.
It's just me, yeah.
And literally my broker made a post like that day of my fight. I was like, who's interested in working, you know, on your own time with your own schedule? And I was like, that's exactly what I need in my life. So I like tapped in, and I got the information to kind of take all the tests and all of that. And I'm really good at being regimented for physical activities.
Yeah. I've seen your Instagram, man. You are pushing weight.
School activities are not necessarily my thing. Sitting still, not my thing. But so it took me a little longer probably it was hard for me to like buckle down and just get it done with, you know? Yeah. So I did eventually get it done with, and I actually failed my the state portion of my real estate test 2 times before, you know? So I just like I missed by like 1 point, went back, I missed by 2 points. I was like, all right, that's enough.
You're like, fuck.
I was like, I'm only listening to real estate shit from here on out.
Right.
So just like all these podcasts, I only consumed how to pass this test. And then I passed, and I was getting ready to go on vacation, and they made this post about me, you know, my brokerage, and it's like, congratulate our new agent or whatever. Sam messaged me that day. He was like, hey, I want to buy my second house, so hit me up when you get back from vacation. And I was like, all right, bet.
Well, and he, like I said, I was talking to him, and he goes, the BRRRR method, which is, I think I have this correct. Buy, rehab, like repeat, and then repeat that cycle.
Buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. There's 5. So there's 4 R's. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, it's something I've always been, because I've heard this method, and I've heard, like, I remember I watched one guy who was like, I did that, and I have like 30 properties, right? And it went from tiny to like $1 million like house. And he goes, and none of it's my cash. And I was like, is it that easy to do the refinance? Like, if you have a property, and then what's the process of getting refinanced? Because I personally have no idea.
Right. So if you bought a house right now, interest rates are high. They're like 7%. Right?
Yeah.
So if you can buy a house now and you can afford that, or, you know, house hack it, whatever you want to do that. Right. And then when interest rates drop, you refinance. And that's going to cost you some money. It's going to cost you like $4 or $5 grand, because you have to pay for the loan origination fees and all that jazz.
Okay.
But then you're going to end up with a much lower interest rate. So that's where you're getting it, that the refinance. So what happens is you can do like a cash out refinance.
Okay.
So basically the equity that you build up. So you've been paying your mortgage, and then the what's up, man?
What's up, James?
I can't just not
yeah,
see
you were
the
good.
guy.
You're good, James. Come on in.
So yeah, you build equity in your house by paying down on your mortgage, and the market's going up. You know, it's not gonna drop or whatever. To the point where like you're gonna lose out on your ass. So as long as you're paying and everything goes up, you have like this extra chunk of money, and you can actually, you know, refinance your loan and get that money back, and then you can use that to put down on another property.
Oh, that's what they've been saying. So
yeah,
that
so
chunk
it's called
of money
a cash out refinance is what that is.
Is that from the bank? So then the bank goes, well, here's the remainder of that refinance.
Right. Yeah. So it's like I've paid down X amount of equity in, and then it's gone. The value of my home has gone up. Like I didn't like, just by making sure I made my payments, it goes up a little bit, but the value of my home goes up.
Damn.
And so that value is that like free money in a sense.
Damn.
And yeah, and so you can cash out, refinance, so you can get that free money. You can get that to you, and then you can use that for another property.
Okay, this makes so much sense. My parents, I think they did that thing, and they got like 30 grand back, and they were like, I think if I'm correct, I was like, that's a lot of money. You should do something with it. And then they were like, yeah, we're doing the roof, and we're doing this, and we're doing that.
So they probably got a HELOC. Yeah. So that's a home equity line of credit.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's different.
Right. Yeah. So that's different. So again, like let's say you bought like a house that was it's a little dilapidated or whatever.
Got it.
You got, for whatever reason, and then outdated a lot of the time. So you could purchase a home, update it, right? And now it's worth more.
Right.
Right. And so now you have all this equity. So you would take like, let's say you have $100,000 in equity. You would take like a $70,000 loan out. So you keep about 30% of it in there.
Okay.
And then you can use that for either another property or for updates on your own house. Right. So like what your parents probably did, they probably live in a house. They've probably been paying on it for hella years.
Yep.
So they took out a little HELOC. It's literally like our credit card.
Oh.
Right. So
but
like
just for home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use it for anything, but don't use it to buy Jordans and all that. Only use it to buy shit.
I can buy a Tesla.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Only use it to buy shit that's gonna like build up your portfolio. Right.
Right.
So and then you can take that, and then you can replace your roof, you can fix your foundation, you can finish your basement, whatever you want to do, and now your home's worth more money.
Right. That's also smart too. I just thought that. I was like, I swear, if this is like some kind of I didn't know about the HELOC. I was like, if this is a cash out refinance and I use that cash just to do this, I'm like, they're missing out on the next, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 1 to 2 years. But I know that for me, my goal for an investment portfolio has not changed, right? So I need to plan now. So like I've automated 2 savings account where like I get paid from work and it splits it up. So even if I don't know I'm doing it, it's still doing it for me. So then, eventually I'll have a down payment for a house. Eventually then I can, take that out and use that for another property. And is there like a time? So if I buy a house, boom, I have the cash, and it's not one I'm going to live in, but it's a rental one that I'm going to do. Is there a time period where I have to like wait to do like a refinance of it or ask for that?
Yes and no. Really, it comes down to the numbers. So like
Yeah.
if you bought a house today and then the interest rate drops
Yeah.
to, to 3%,
Mm-hmm.
I would find a way to come up with that money, that $4,000 to refinance your home and get that 3% interest rate.
Hell yeah.
So you would just look at it and be like, all right, well, over the course of the loan, like, am I gonna save the money that it's gonna cost me to refinance it right now, or should I wait?
I mean, and that's, like I said, if we start, like I said, I don't know if it's because, I really don't think our parents were told any of this stuff. I don't think they obviously weren't shown, but just from my little knowledge of like 80s movies and trivia, I'm like, the same idea is like you work, they recognize you at work, then you get like promoted all the way to CEO, and then at the end of the 80s movie, you're like rich. And I'm like, I don't know if that was the sentiment back then, but I think we had a healthy knowledge that that's not necessarily possible. Maybe for some, but not everybody. So you have to carve your own path, make your own way. So me and James over here were talking about doing the same thing. We were looking at homes that were in, maybe they were older, but they could use some renovations. And then how much do we need? How much is this? And then crafting two separate, portfolios, but then doing it at the same time. And it's like, great, we can divide the work, but also have it all to ourselves for, my kid and then his kids who have kids. And then, if they keep it rolling, they could have, the things are paid off. They're now rental properties that don't have any money on them. So now that's cash flow. And then they have a stream of income where they just, maybe they'll have to like have someone go watch them, like go check on them and collect the checks, and I can do that now at 26. And then, 20 years from now, we're like, oh, wow, you really set us up, Dad. I did not know that. And I'm like, that's such a life changer for people and like for my kiddo. But do you have your own investment idea, like a thing for your daughter that you want to cultivate in your family? Or you just stumbled into it and you're like, yeah, I'm locked into this now?
Yeah, so like it is my goal to own multiple properties, rentals, long-term, own Airbnbs, own all of that, Going back to what you had just said though about like my parents still think that you need 20% down to buy a freaking house. You don't need nothing down to buy a house.
Wait. You don't need anything?
No.
I'm over here saving for like 10%. Like I need 10 grand.
I mean, it'll be great for you because you would get like probably a little bit lower interest rate or whatever. But no, you don't need, like, there's all sorts of like programs out there. They want you to buy a house, man.
Damn.
All you got to do is like find a dope lender, and they will, like, a good mortgage broker, and they want you to buy. I'm
gonna need to talk to you after the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's get started today, gentlemen. James, I want to double check. Are those cameras good? They look good. Yeah, cool. But because I don't think that a lot of people, Kevin had a good quote. He was like, a lot of fighters, they get in the cage, they are just, and it's contagious. You're locked into fighting, right? Like that's your thing. But then you don't think of after. But most of these people who I talk to who at least have some connection with you or with like other guys who have done it themselves, they're like, no, you need something else more than just one thing, right? It's not bad to have a goal. It's not bad to have one thing that you want. Like if you want to be a UFC fighter, great. But then at the same time, how are you using your money? How are you spending it? Are you wasting it? Are you looking at things long term? And people like you, you have a good, healthy mindset and balance of, yes, I could fight because you're fucking great, right? Just FYI, if you didn't know.
I'm all right. I'm okay, dude.
I've heard you're the best in the gym, so there you go. Thanks, Mike. And but then you're also thinking about something greater than yourself. And I was listening to, like I said, the Bigger Pockets podcast, and a bunch of these real estate guys talk, and they were like, there's nothing, they'd rather have their money in real estate rather than the banking system. And these are people who have a lot of money to talk about. And I'm like, maybe I should look into this. And, most of the people who listen to that show were like 45, 40, like they're older, like just getting into it. So I feel very fortunate to be able to sit here and talk to you for more reasons than just one. But like I feel blessed to be able to set up my kiddo, whether he knows it or not. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's another thing. It's like my dad told me like I had to get a job at a certain point in time. My kid's never allowed to have a job. Never.
Right.
If you want to make money, you find a way to start a business or go walk dogs. I don't care what you do. You're not working for somebody else.
Yeah. Well, what's the quote? It's you're either going to work hard to build your dreams or work harder to build someone else's.
Maybe, I don't know. That's a dope one. Yeah.
You know, like the guy who owns this company that you work for is going to pay you to do the job that they don't feel like doing or they don't know how to do, but they did do the hard work to get to a point where they have this business themselves. And so that's something else that we're trying to cultivate here. We have the equipment, we have the studio, we have all the knowledge that we have of editing and doing all this stuff, and taking that out and doing it like in Kansas City means not only a big deal locally, but because there's so much talent. Like there's so many people who do different things. Like you drive down Kansas City, there's just art. And I'm like, no one's, I might see a shop or two. I might see like, people walking their dogs, but like it's just feels like they're out Kansas City. There's nothing here. I'm like, there's so much in this, like just branch out towards from Kansas City. There's so many like avenues of talented individuals.
Yeah. I'm from a really small town in Ohio, like
I
graduated with like 50 kids. Okay. And so
God, I thought
like
mine was
the
small.
idea of like a city was so dope to me. Like when I moved out here to work at Ford, like my brain was like Kansas City. I was like fucking New York, dude. Like this is it.
Like this is the biggest place ever.
It was wild, dude. Every time I go downtown, I'm just like, what the? Oh,
is that the Sprint Center?
I'm mesmerized every time. I love it. Yeah. And then they're doing all sorts of dope shit all the time, everywhere. And like you said, the talent is amazing. You think about just in the fight realm, all the people that are in this city, like you can't throw a rock and not hit a UFC fighter out here, dude. It's crazy.
There's a lot under the umbrella of just of the people that I've been able to talk to, and they're like, I think we have like 28 something active UFC fighters. And then it hit me one day when I was at OP, and I'm over there, and I think Trey had to go. He was gone that week, and then I was like, is that Julian Marquez? I was like, the first thing that came to mind, I was like, that's a big guy. I was like, that's a big guy. Yeah. And then I was like, he's 185. Right?
Yeah.
No, he isn't. He's, you know what I mean? I'm like, it looks like the Hulk. And he was like, I'm teaching class today. And just the coolest dude.
Yeah, he's super chill. He's actually, he started at the Northside Gym. So was
no
Zach.
way.
Yeah. And then he got into the UFC, went out to Vegas, came back and started training at the pro practices out here. But yeah, he started at the Northside Gym. So that was really cool for me. When I don't really have like UFC aspirations and all that.
Right.
But when just like being, I was like, oh shit, like he was on these same mats doing the same thing I'm doing right now. That's really cool. So I know like the process is there.
It's like a feeling, like a magical feeling. You're like, oh man, I feel like I'm soaking in whatever your energy you're putting off, and now it's like a little bit. It was just the gym did more for me than anything I've ever done. But
we could go I could tell you a whole like life story on how the gym has changed and saved my life. Is wild.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you listen listen to the other ones, it literally saved my life, like physically saved my life. But that's why I really wanted to make this thing where it was like it comes in waves, because to me that's what life kind of feels like. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have the small, the big, everything in between, and maybe it's not that great, but here comes you have to deal with all the back and forth that comes with it. And I think the gym just helped me realize that like I'm in control of my surfboard. Like I control where I'm gonna go, how I react, what's gonna happen. And I didn't really have that barometer and that thing in my head that was able to regulate that, other than going to the gym and just being there with doing something consistently better for myself. Yeah. And so if you have a story about how the gym saved you, I'm down.
Yeah. So November 1st, 2018, a sheriff knocked on my door to evict me from my apartment.
All right, I like how this.
We're
here for it.
I gave my kid mom the rent money, and unbeknownst to me, she had been using that. And she had also like stolen a bunch of money from me to like supply like a hydro habit. I didn't know about it. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty naive, you know, like
right.
I've never really been exposed. Like I got good parents. I've never really been exposed to like drugs or drug addicts or anything like that. I didn't understand.
Is this in Ohio?
No, this is here. It's
This is
Kansas
here.
City. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I didn't like, my whole life like fell apart. You know, I'm this. I was a dad. I had a family. It was really cool. I was going to work. I'd come home. I'd go to the gym and train. Everything was happy and dope. And then like everything was just stripped from me. I have no place to live. I have, you know, I don't know when I'm gonna see my kid. I don't know what's happening. She stole my car.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like signed her name, took loans out. She stole my identity. Like all this crazy stuff.
My gosh.
Yeah, it was wild. And like I went into the like, the sheriff gave me like, he was like, all right, dude. He seemed that I was like real shook up. I had no idea they were coming.
Yes.
And you know, she was gone. Obviously, she knew what was gonna happen. And he's like, dude, you got 10 minutes to get, you know, whatever you need real quick, and then you got to be out. And then if you talk to these guys, they'll probably let you get the rest of your stuff. So I went upstairs, like laundry wasn't folded, nothing, man. I was like, all right. So grab a few pairs of clothes for work. I just stuff a bunch of like the clean laundry into a bag, and I grab my freaking gym bag, and I'm like, all right, I'm out. And I just like, I was lost, dude. I didn't.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I ended up going back to my parents, and I threw myself into the gym. It was hard, man. Like for years, I was just trying to like get it all figured out, and
right.
You know, I went through custody, and I ended up
right there with you. I know exactly how tough that
spent a ton of money, and all the lies and all the deceit, you know, that comes with like addiction, and it was like I was dealing with that. And so like, not that I was going to the gym and like releasing all that frustration, but there was like that 90 minutes to 2.5 hours where it was just like, I can only focus on this one thing ahead of me.
Yeah, for me it was like I can control this right now for 90 minutes.
Yeah, or just like I mean? this is the only thing, like my brain can't be somewhere else. And so like I was in the gym. Obviously I got full custody of my daughter.
Again, congratulations for all that.
Yeah. So I worked hard for that. And like, I wasn't gonna stop going to the gym, dude. Like, she came with me. She was in diapers. My daughter was potty trained in the fucking gym.
No,
straight up, yeah. So the moms that are at the gym, like, it's a family, dude. It's a culture. That's why it is the way that it is. It's not this like this thing that people think it is, where it's like this violent thing. Like, no, like it is a happy place. You find me on the mat dancing before every practice, pretty much. Like I'm not, so it's just like we're getting loose, we're getting happy. Like it is this environment. So it gave me something to focus on, and it gave me like an amazing group of people, and it gave me like a support system that without that, like I don't know like what I would have done, man, for real. Like it was like the hardest moment of my life up until then. My life was kind of like, I mean, it definitely wasn't fucking easy,
right?
But yeah, so the gym was there for me, and like this crazy time. I remember like I got put on nights, and so I would like wake up, I'd work all night, I'd go to bed at 4 a.m. I get up at 9, and I grab my get my stuff together. I'd eat my breakfast in my car while I was driving to Lee Summit to go practice with them. Get my ass beat, dude. And then like it was so rough because like as soon I knew like I was gonna use that time on the way home to like call these creditors and try to dispute all this nonsense that was on, and it was just like I have no sleep. I feel like crap, and like just got my ass beat. So I'm like crying or holding back tears on the way home, trying to call these people to like get this shit figured out, calling these lawyers, and it was a really rough time. But like the mats never betrayed me, you know what I'm saying? So that helped, and then I got into like a little bit of a weird place where it's like I just kind of like became at peace with with everything that had happened, and then it was just like, damn, I was like fueling myself with all this negative energy. Like I was going there to kind of like, and it was just, it became a secondary issue. It was like how do I go back to that guy that was like, cause I was still in the gym every day before the nonsense, you know? And I've always been like crazy. I used to run to school, dude. Like we don't have street lights, man. I was running like 4.5 miles to school, like 6 a.m. and the like Highway 98. Like, yeah. So
animal.
like I just like knew that, like I was like, all right, I'm that guy. Like I know I can, like I put this effort in. I work, so it's just like like I need to get back to doing this because I fucking love doing it, not because
Right.
like there's something inside me that just like is burning and I need it to go away.
Right.
And so like once I kind of was able to like get to that point again, like now I feel so good, and I'm like I'm so like content, and like my ego is so like settled.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not over here chattering in your ear like louder than the other voices. It's like I can turn you off, man. Like you can, but I thank you, by the way, for sharing something like that, because I know exactly what divorce looks like. I know exactly what custody with children looks like, and I mean he's 9, and it's like I think we're finally at a place where like now I can finally have like a. I told his mother, I was like, let's just do it like a business relationship, where like if I have to talk with you, we'll just no emotions, no this and that. But before that, it was just who knows what happens next year, you know? And it's just like everything comes out, everything, you know. And I'm just the hardest part for me was having to just sit there, like listen to all the nonsense and just not do anything and just sit there and be calm, and then like not be reactive. And the whole thing was like if you initiate the reaction, it's like now spotlight's off that person, it's on to you. And I'm like, so I'm just having to like sit there on Zoom calls and in courtrooms and just like, no, it's not true. Like you're lying, but I can't. You just have to learn that gauge. And at the same time, when that was like at a peak moment, it's like literally was like felt like a superhero saying, but like remember your training. Like remember like you said, the mats never betrayed you, right?
Yeah.
The teammates you have, if you go there, like if I go there and I was like, hey Trey, and I have this going on. I remember one time I told him, and he's like, we like miss you here. And I'm like, I know, I'm just going through A through Z. And he's like, oh, you're walking through the desert. He goes, but we're desert children. So all of us are right here, like with you. And I'm like, that little sentence meant more to me than like.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, anything else. Like, so there's just, and then of course it's just trailed through. So not only is it just like, so I started all of my training was at OP location, but then I remember the 3 months at Gladstone where it was like that period of learning where it's like you don't just show up and like learn how to fight in like 2 months. Like it's not going to be that simple, but because of how hard the work is and how long it's going to take you makes it that much more rewarding that you get there. And so you said you didn't have any aspirations over towards UFC. Are you just love this so much that you're just here for it?
I'm not outcome based like that.
Yeah.
So like I just like, man, I love Rocky, dude.
Oh,
Rocky's
yeah, dude.
my shit.
Do you like, what about Creed?
Yeah.
Bro, come on.
It's cool. All right, but I mean, it's just I'm at a different place in my life, so I don't really enjoy entertainment like that anymore.
Got you.
But
well, you probably picked that shit out. You're like, he wouldn't do that.
I mean,
what are you doing?
It's hard now, but like, and I know a lot of people. You hear the David Goggins, like he loves the part where Rocky gets up, and I don't even like the fights that much, dude. I love the training scenes.
Yes, the montage.
Yeah, you could see me like I was like in my room on my bed, like watching the Rocky VHSs, punching my pillows, dude. Like I was getting after it. So there's just something about me where I just love being like in it. I love the process. Like fighting isn't that awesome to me. I don't really like it that much.
That makes sense with your training montage, because if you look on your Instagram, and it's not most people who post shit like I'm working out and I'm doing this, it's like showboaty type shit. You're like, no, this is like, it's a Sunday. Look, I'm in the gym. There's no one else here. Like it's like
there were people there.
Well, you know, but it's like most people aren't there Sunday at like 8 a.m., you know? And it's just like, it's not, when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, he's killing it. But not for anybody else's opinion or approval. It's his own motivation to do these things better and be better. And I mean, you could tell, man, I'm seeing you like squat and like clean some of these things. I'm like, what the? I'm like, I need to pack on some mass.
Olympic lifting is dope, and we can get into that sometime too if you want. But I love it. It's like a martial art you do against gravity with a bar, dude. It's all like mental. It's amazing. It's very technical. I love it.
I think I've been turned off by it because of like people doing it so wrong that they fuck themselves up.
It's hard.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, they put too much weight on, and the next thing you see that elbow, like
you gotta swallow your ego, man. You gotta like admit that you don't know shit, and admit that it's gonna take you 6 years to fucking really get good at this.
Yeah,
you know. So I've only been doing it like not even 2 full years. Like as Olympic lifting, I've been working out and lifting like ever since I was like 13. But yeah, so you just got like, I really had to like start over. I had to like swallow my ego and be like, all right, well, I clearly don't like have the mobility for this, and I don't have, so I just had to like start. I was like using PVC pipe and like a 15-pound bar and all that. So it's just like, you got to start over. And it's like, I went from squatting in the mid 4s to a PVC pipe,
Right.
So, but I just wanted what it had for me.
What got you into like, because 13's relatively young to start working out. So I'm like, what made you get into lifting at 13 years old?
My dad is a mean person. So when I was a kid, a lot of my punishments were exercise based. So if I left toys out, or if I didn't, here's a good quote from my father. It's like, if I didn't unload the dishwasher. Right?
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. All right, motherfucker, go outside and start running. I'm going to forget to tell you when to stop. So I'd have to run laps around my property. We live on an acre. 10 laps was a mile.
Oh.
So 20 was pretty much the standard. And then it did not matter if it was cold. It did not matter if there was snow in the yard. It's Ohio. We get lake effect snow. So I'd have to like high knee my way around until I built up a path. Yeah, if I dropped a football, like when we were playing catch in the yard, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, if I overthrew it. No, I was busting out push-ups afterward if I fucked it up. And then I wrestled my whole life. I started wrestling in like 1st grade or something, and I sucked. I sucked. I sucked in 1st grade. I sucked all the way up until like 8th grade, and looking back, I know why I sucked. But like he was always just up my ass. Like, if you were working out, if you were hitting, he didn't even work out, man. Like he was just telling me if I did this shit out, So I just started doing it so he'd leave me alone.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, but it was not until I heard one of the neighbors like talking to my mom about how like impressed she was. She saw me running on the road, and that's when I got that like positive feedback. And I was like, oh, these people notice that.
They like
so
that.
Then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna do this shit, Like, and then again, when I was a little older, another person like said, like, I heard these 2 girls at like youth group. I heard these 2 girls. we were playing like razzle dazzle. And then these girls were like, dude, you guys see Ty's arms? And I was like, and then so now I'm catching the ball and I'm like flexing my arms every time I could. I was like, you
see get that extra small shirt, pop it through.
Yeah. I even remember we were doing like taekwondo. I was a little kid, and I'd already been busting out push-ups every single day. And sit-ups every single day. So I started with like, I was doing like 250 push-ups and 250 sit-ups a day. But my dad had told somebody that I was doing 500 push-ups and sit-ups a day. And then,
so then you were like,
I was like, I can't make my dad a fucking liar. So I just started doing.
Good son. That's a good son.
So I started doing an extra 250 push-ups and sit-ups at night. Cause I used to hit them right when I woke up in the morning, And then you get into high school, you start like learning to bench, and I didn't know shit, dude. If I would have known what you hear that, if I would have known what I know now, well, I know what I know now, and now like I'm seeing the results, and like I'm seeing like how great things can be, but I had to like really start over.
Well, and that was something that I remember doing. So, like, that's the mentality in high school. It's, like, squats, clean and jerk, like, bench press, and then, like, pull-ups. Those are the 4 things I remember in strength class. And, sure, like, it makes you generally a bigger, stronger, all-around athlete. But then, what about agility? And then they'd be like, okay, maybe we should do, like, agility ladders. And then I started seeing, like, you do the Olympic lifting, right? And so it's not only about the weight. It's about controlling that weight with, you have to factor in, like I said, I've seen people, like, elbows and like knees like just completely crumble, and I'm like, you have to have ligament strength, you have to have like, it all has to be balanced, and it's all about motion. And so a lot of good exercise that I've seen like fighters and other people is do like body weight motion exercise along with increasing that over a period of time, not just like, oh, I can squat 300, let me just go ahead and pop that on and do like nope, there goes your knee. Like,
well, I'm gonna look at the camera right now.
Yeah.
Do not do what I do. If you want to do strength and conditioning for MMA, like, don't do what I'm doing. There's great things, but like, it's not worth it. You can throw med balls. There's a lot of jumping exercises. If you want help, you can message me. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm like, it's a separate thing. I understand. That's what I'm getting into. Like I don't really care about the UFC or whatever.
Right.
Like there are. way better training modalities where you don't have to like break it down and learn all this and that. Like it's not necessary. The things that I'm doing are not necessary for, and it's probably hindering a little bit of like performance, but it's what I love to do. It's what I love to do. I mean, I could probably spend way less time in my strength and conditioning sessions if I was doing other things, but that's not what I want to do. So
well, and I just think for me, that guy, I don't think that's not a lot of people have any like. If this is a belt, they don't have a lot of tools in that belt for those exercises. So then I'm doing like 4 of them, and then we're doing like a ton of sets. And then I'm like, by like set 5 of 10, I'm like, okay, like it's the same weight, it's the same number, it's the same. And I'm like, anything else, right? And it's just like, I got into it. That's hilarious that you mentioned the youth group girls. Here we go. Let's get into my psyche. Yeah. And I remember running. So I was just I'm 5'8.5", 5'9" on a good day. And I was always that tall from like third, 4th grade. I had a spurt, and then they were like, "You're gonna be giant, like you're gonna be tall." And then they were like, "You're gonna be down low on the post for basketball." And I watched over middle school, everyone just like, and the coaches were like, "Never mind, we're gonna move you, do this, do that." And then they were all getting quote unquote bigger. Back when you're in middle school, you think like, oh, wow, you're jacked. And then I look at pictures now, I go, that's regular. Like, that's just like a regular thing. But back then, you were like, I'm so small, blah, 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 whatever. And I remember the first encouragement was like, my parents didn't want football, didn't want basketball because I broke my collarbone in football, concussion in football. And they were like, you're too small to play any sports. And I'm like, I got to do something. I have this like outlet. They were like, you can run.
I ran cross country and track as well. So
cross country. And best years of my life was running cross country.
Me too.
Like
favorite sport. Well, not wrestling was my favorite sport, but cross country was the most fun sport.
Yeah, well,
track sucks.
It's true. It's true.
Cold. It sucks. You're running a circle. It's dumb.
Yeah, well, and also the most attractive women were in cross country.
I don't know about all that, dude.
Come down, I'll get out my yearbook. But yeah, people don't kill me for saying that. But and I remember running around the track for like a workout in the morning. And it was like a color, like we had a team and you had a color. And I remember being in my sister's pants. Like I cut like her robe and made like a green headband. And like I just had like some like paint or something on here that was like down my arms. And you know, I'm tiny. It's like 9th grade. I haven't started working out, nothing. But you get to running and the sweat starts going. You'll see a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And I remember running around. And I remember just through the grapevine,
going up and down. You can
And they were like, and out of every dude, older guys, younger guys, like I was the youngest, so everyone else between me and like the seniors, they were like, "Oh my gosh, Chase has a 6-pack," and I was like, I remember that's like the youth group thing. I'm like, ooh, like that does something, and I was like, the popular girl in this cross country said that I have abs. I'm like, I bet she'd date me, and it's like. Well, I got to get stronger abs and like do this and then just like fuel it into starting to work out. But like a lot of, now that I'm getting older, it's a lot of the stuff that I had done, like exercise for you and like for me, it was like, there is a like a level of whether it's a trauma or an insecurity. And it's like mine came from just being like, I mean, people I was so light. I was like 110 pounds. So they could literally like grab me by the waist. I had like a 28 waist and just like throw me. Like, and they would do that all day long. And like, no one cared. No, I'm like, okay, like, well, I have to do something about it. And then I'm like, my dad said, if I don't react, if I fight, if I finish it, I'm good. Right. That kind of motto. And I remember one time it happened and I warned the person and then they like, pushed me and like tried to jump on me. And so then I like rolled, got up and like just chucked this ball and just like I watched this dude get hit in the face. I was like, I'm like Bullseye from like Daredevil. Like no matter what if there's anger right there, man, I can throw it like and then just throw it and like I can't describe it, but the anger just makes me super accurate. And I did it, and I got in trouble. My dad had to come in, and I told him, I'm like, I'm not even in trouble. My dad's going to he's going to go with it. I finished it. I didn't do anything. And he's like, you fucking with me? We're going to get sued or something, or like started going off. And I'm like, so now I can't even like handle it if I have to. So then I'm like, I'm just going to have to like be the like, like that scene in Superman where the dude like pushes against him and he just like moves backwards because he doesn't move. And I'm like, okay, so I have to like be able to have some kind of resistance so they don't even start anything. And then, that just led to, wanting to be in better shape. Like I like not having joints and shit pop and like feeling stronger. Like I could just do that or do this more than someone else. But I do realize that most of the stuff that I had to like fight through did come from a negative emotional space, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying it doesn't sound very fun as a kid having to go out there and run laps. Right. And so it's nice to see that you've taken that and turned it into this positive thing that also now is motivating other people. Like Mike, even's like the best fighter, most motivated, does all this stuff, but also a little crazy. Like it's good. You're doing like you're helping and showing a good example to others, even if you don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? The rising tide lifts all ships or whatever. Like I just want the gym to be successful. Like it helped me so much, and I want everybody that walks in that gym to feel welcomed, and I want them to achieve whatever success they want. And so again, like I'm not like I don't have these like crazy like fight aspirations, because you look at the amount of like effort and time and focus you have to put into being a full-time fighter, and it's just I'm not. Like I said, I want custody of my kid, and you look at these guys who like go out to, wherever they go to Factory X to train, or some people come out here to train to do their fight camps. Like I'm not leaving my fucking kid for 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever, to fight. Right. Like so I'm gonna do, and also it's like it's so selfish, Yes. Like my girl, my daughter. It's like even like right now I'm getting ready, so I have to be very like intentional with my time and like with my fights. So like I have other goals, I have other things that I'm looking to achieve, and I can't be doing that and also fighting people. So like I'm coming up on this fight on February 4th. Like if y'all hit me up to sell you a house, I will give you the next best real estate agent between now and then, for real. Like I'll send you to Whitney Grimes, for real. Like because
what up, Whitney?
Because I'm telling you, like I'm not. I need to put that focus into that, but it's like I don't get to eat dinner with my family. I don't get to I'm eating the same meal every single day, and I don't mind it, but it's just, and also you're becoming this person, like you're sitting and you're visualizing like this fight, and you're like all the time, right? It's just everything goes into that, and like you're asking a lot from these other people who are not getting anything out of it. Right. And so I'm just not going to put all my effort into that. I'm not. So I like, would it be dope to fight in the UFC? I wouldn't turn a fucking contract down. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes. But I'm going to go as far as I'm going to go with like what I'm willing to do. Right. And like for right now, I'm quitting my job this year, and there's a lot of shit going on. So I knew that like I have the itch. I want to get in there. I want to fight. It's real important to me, like that I get out there and I fight as a pro while working at Ford, because it is fucking hard, dude. Like I don't do shit else, dude. I get up I'm getting up at 4 a.m. I go to work. I work all day. I get off at 4 p.m. I go home. I fucking get in a cold ass shower because I gave up on warm water.
Okay, after the story, we're talking about that.
Yeah, and then I go straight to the gym. I train my ass off with the squad. I go home. I get my shit together, get it all together for the next day, and I do the exact same thing again. So there's no, like, I don't fucking go out to eat. I don't hang out with friends. I don't do none of that shit.
Well, yeah, and I remember watching Corey Sandhagen before one of his fights. He was on Joe Rogan. He was talking, and he's like, there's a different, it's like someone else. It's like, it's me, but it's also someone else because of the dedication and focus I have to put elsewhere, And he's like, it gets dark sometimes, like, you're in a UFC cage with the best in the world. You have a number by your name, and it's like literally either tap out, knockout, or death. Like you're in a spot where it's really tough to have relationships, people around. Family members are like, Corey's not right now. He goes, but then it's like afterwards, it's like peace and relief and accomplishment, and then it's just in order to. That's where he was saying you have to be a little crazy. Because then you have to take that thing you've been working on for so long, put it in an octagon with another guy, and then think knockout, tap out, death, right? that's the only way we're leaving with this cage, right? Like, because he doesn't want to, like, he doesn't like decisions and this and that, so he has to think the opposite, which, that makes it difficult when it comes to fighters as well. I've noticed that there's sacrifices need to be made. There's, like you said, you have to eat the same meal. Don't eat. You 12-hour shifts. Yeah. 4.
I mean, I wake up at 4. I get off at 4. The line starts at like 5:30. But yeah, I gotta get up, get my shit together, pack my lunch, go to work.
Well, and it's like it's just.
And also, I'm selling. I'm in like 2 contracts right now. Like I'm selling houses, so
you're grinding, man.
Yeah, I'm on the computer on all my breaks. I'm doing everything. Like I'm always running, and I don't have to have a fight. I don't have to, like, when I was on a different shift and I had like 3 days off. I worked the whole weekends. Like I was still always busy. I'm never not busy.
Right. Well, and that's perfect. That's where I wanted to get, like, when I said, like, that means your girlfriend, what's her name?
Cindy.
That means Cindy has to have an understanding that you, like, when you say that to me, like you described it, if you describe that to her, she goes, okay.
It's hard on her.
Right.
It's hard on her. It's hard on my daughter. I'm not like the nicest person, especially like my calories are low. I count my macros now. Right. I have a nutritionist. Like, so shout out to Calvin. Yeah. The Kinetic Performance Institute. So.
Hell yeah. I mean, so like you're doing everything right. It's just like there is an understanding that someone else who is in a relationship with you, or even like the friends that you can't hang out with anymore, there's got to be this understanding, like, okay, like we know Ty, we know that this is going on, and that's just part of the gig, right? And if they don't, then it usually is like you see the selfish behavior come out, or you see what the need was for you in their life in the beginning, and it's like, if that was any guy at the gym, any guy, any girl, whatever, who comes through that gym, and they've been there for a while, they're dedicated, they'll understand. You know what I mean? And it's very, very rare to be outside of just working, 9 to 5, and finding groups or people that, like, understand that on a deeper level.
Yeah, people ask me to go out to eat, even in, like, real estate. They're like, hey, you want to go out to eat? And it's like, I just tell them no.
Yeah.
And it's not... And even when I don't have like a fight, like I don't go out to eat. I don't enjoy entertainment. I don't do any of that. Even when I don't have a fight, like it's all I spend those moments are for my family.
Right.
I'm not gonna go out to eat with you. Like, no, like if I'm gonna go out to eat, if I'm gonna indulge in anything, like it's gonna be with my family. So like I allow myself like 1 flavored drink a day. Okay, and I drink for real, like, I mean, protein shakes not included, but that's like a habit, it's like a religious thing.
Yeah.
But so like, and I enjoy that with my girlfriend, like at the end of the night, so it's just like, I'm not gonna, you ask me like Gatorade, but no, dude, no, I don't want that shit, dude. Like no flavor for me.
It's literally like like I said, like you're a rare person. Like the mind that you have, I'm glad I get to talk to you in this like thing I've cultivated and we've cultivated together, that we can craft something that speaks to that. And it's just sometimes you don't get the good things, but that's because you have to take a look at who you're acting like. Are you acting like someone who is working hard enough to get that? Or are you just sitting there like complaining about why you're not the person who should have that? Like, it's a very different, and like I said, sacrifices that people don't think are sacrifices is like dinner, like flavored drinks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that, like, literally, like, it's just like I could drink like Propel 0 calories. I could drink as many of those as I want, but it's like, why am I gonna indulge in this? Like,
it's an immovable object. That's what your mind is. It's immovable, right? You're like, nope, this is exactly what I have to do. And they're like, but, and you're like, no budge.
Yeah, like, I don't make decisions based on fucking mouth pleasure, dude.
Yeah, that's for real. Told me that. I was like, wait a minute.
There's food I don't like eating. I'll fucking swallow it. I do not care. Like, it's just
people
like,
thought I was
it's
nuts
good
for that.
Me. Yeah, it's like, no, this tastes like shit, and I'm gonna eat every fucking bite of it, dude.
Well,
like,
I didn't know how to cook. Like, I was just like, just throw. It's like frozen chicken, like it's still thawed. I'm like, throw it in there for like an hour, right? Like, flip them over halfway through, and there's no flavor, no seasoning. It's just chicken plain, and like some like vegetable I got from the store.
No, not me. I will season my food.
Well, yeah, and I'm just like, it's like mush, but I'm like, at least I know it's chicken, right? It's just like, I don't do that anymore, of course, because I'm not stupid. But it tasted like shit. But I didn't mind like doing that because in the gym, I was like, I'm getting good performance out of my nutrition. Like I was like, hey, Trey, I need to lose 15 pounds. It's not in good spots. Sure enough, doing what he did, he's like, track it for 2 weeks, get back to me. I'll send you the what you need to take out, blah, blah, blah. Send it through the app. And, it changed, dropped 15 pounds.
What app you use?
The Under Armour one.
Oh, okay.
My Fitness Pal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it was just like he had that connected, so we were like, okay, cool. And I think it was the free one was like pretty good for what you got, but you could also pay for the one that was really good on that app too. Do you use a specific one?
I use Macros first, so it actually integrates with the website that my nutritionist uses. So
okay.
I can tap in. I put my weight in every day and all this, and then my Macros first app actually, I put all the food, everything I eat goes into that, and so he can look at it and be like, all right, well, this is how we're gonna adjust your macros, and
that's got to be super helpful.
Yeah, and it's also like this motherfucker's looking at what I'm eating, and like so I gotta like make sure like I'm not bullshitting around, and like.
Are you sure you ate this? Because you gained 3 pounds.
Yeah,
You're like,
I mean I'm honest with it, like
right.
I said, like I only indulge with my family, so last week or whatever I ate like an ice cream sandwich or whatever, but I save that for like the evening when I'm with my girlfriend. So I don't watch TV on my own. I don't watch movies. I don't listen to entertainment. I only listen to music on the way to the gym and at the gym. I don't listen to music outside of it. And like I said, I just recently gave up warm water, so I don't use warm water.
What is it? Oh, for the okay. So is that a personal choice because it makes you do something hard every day?
Yeah,
or is it a health benefit?
I don't honestly know. I don't think there's much health benefits to showering in cold water. People can sit in here and be like, oh, it does this. It's a shower, dude. It's not that cold. Like, no, knock it off, right? But it is mentally, it is tough.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to showering in warm water, and it's just like, it's one of the hardest things that I do every single day now, and I can't get away from it. And then it's just also like no one's there, no one's watching, so like now like the clock doesn't lie,
right?
So like if you're not doing what the fuck you say you're doing, then like it'll come out later on,
right?
So all right. So I also started reading a lot. I'm always reading, and I read a lot about like performance, and so I've been diving pretty deep into like the breath world.
I've heard that's like a life-changing like avenue. Like people are like, whoa.
Yeah, but it takes a long time. People like, I mean, it's becoming a fad right now, like sitting in an ice bath. Like, let's see what y'all are doing in August, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're like, you're not in a bath.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just like they sit in these like ice tubs. It's cool. Like, yeah, it's like, so what I'm doing is like I'm putting my body under the stress and my heart rate's going up and like it's intense, but like you can really just like calm yourself down and breathe your way through it. So it's just a rep. So like it's like a little dose of venom. That's what I like. That's all the shit I do is just like I'm just taking like a little dose of venom. So like there's fucking people that work with snakes, like they're like there are people that like will put a little bit of venom in their fucking bloodstream to build up a tolerance. So everything I do is about like a little dose of venom. When I'm at the gym, dude, I'm like SBC United Strong. Like I am nervous about my workout.
That's from your gym?
Yeah, this is Strong Barbell
Club. Fucking dope. I love that.
Yeah.
Color's cool.
So when I'm at the gym, like I'm nervous about this shit, dude. Like whatever the weights I gotta do, like all my shit's programmed. So I'm not going in there like fiddle fucking around like, oh, it's leg day. Like, no, it's like there's a program and like this shit's gonna be fucking hard.
And I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, and so like I'm unracking this weight. We'll take my Sunday workout for example. Like I do some power cleans or whatever, or hang cleans, and then like I get into 8 front squats at a like 90 kilograms, like maybe 200 pounds, and then I immediately rack it, and then I get on a freaking air bike and I sprint for 20 seconds.
Holy shit.
And then as soon as I'm done, I shut my mouth and I only breathe through my nose. It feels like I'm suffocating. Well, like it's like I feel like I'm suffocating,
right.
And like these 8 front squats, like by the time I'm in my 3rd and 4th set, it's like my form's kind of breaking down a little bit. I'm like, that's an excuse to not, like I don't want to get hurt,
Right.
But at the same time, like
you've been doing
like, am I gonna rack the fucking weight, or am I gonna finish it? Or I'm on the thing and I see 17 seconds. I could stop right now. Like 3 more. What is 3 seconds? It is gonna do something, man. Like that is that venom, dude. And like I'm literally, my brain is like, I'm coming up. I'm like, I could put this weight down.
Yeah.
And I always finish, but like my brain like looks for the way out every single time.
It always does.
Every single time. I'm standing in, like, I turn the shower on. I'm like, I don't know, I'm standing there and I'm like, I could just turn it on, like, look straight up and down. It's not warm, but it's not cold.
Right.
You know, but man, like, it's
I
that
know
venom.
it.
I
Yeah.
need that dose, dude, because like when that fucking snake comes to bite, you know, on February 4th, like, I'm gonna know. Like, the clock's not, I'm gonna know that I fucking did all this other shit.
Right.
And I've been like, it's a repetition and doing some shit that you are nervous about doing. And I just, every single day I do that as much as I can.
Dude, that's the best way I've heard it put, is like, it's that little bit of venom, because like, whether your brain will work its way into the path of least resistance, because we are electrical.
Always.
Right? So it's gonna go the way that, like, so like when I do like cognitive behavioral therapy with my therapist, he's like, it'll go the way that it's been going, because that's the easier way to go. But if you train it to go the other way, then that's gonna be stronger, and then that one's gonna be weaker. And it's like, same thing with working out, same thing with doing something consistently like that. That sucks, is because you're training your brain to go that way, and it makes that little voice like real quiet.
Yeah, it's like, you think I don't want to go out to eat with you, dog? Like, I do,
Right.
but like, I gotta say no, man. Like, I'm gonna save that time for my family, because like it's another rep in venom, you know. It's just like, just take it, you know.
It's so fucking well put. I love that. I'm gonna put that. Like, I'm thinking right now, like, T-shirt, Venom, Snake. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I should put that on a fucking shirt. But like I said, I wanted to round off with your fight on the 4th, right?
Right up the street.
Yeah, right up the street, Memorial Hall. Like I said, I'll be there, because it's gonna be a great bout. And like I said, I think that everything you're doing inside the gym and outside the gym is something that not only speaks, like, for me, but also it speaks to people who watch this. It'll speak to people who, you know, maybe they saw you doing weight on the, you know, on Instagram or whatever, and they have a different way they view it. Like, maybe there's a little jealousy in there, and then they're like, oh wait, that actually he's doing it for himself. Like, he's doing it to better himself. Like,
yeah, it's a martial art with a bar, dude. I keep saying that.
Yes.
It's like, and when you're doing, like, not to cut you off, but like when you're doing,
you're
like,
good.
Olympic lifts, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm snatching this weight, dude. I'm jumping underneath this fucking thing, and it's like 185 pounds. Like, and I'm jumping underneath it. And it's, if you don't believe in yourself, when you're doing it, you're gonna fucking miss. You know, same thing with a heavy squat. It doesn't matter. Like, it is an exercise in self-belief. I say it all the time. I slap it on my stories all the time. It's an exercise in self-belief, because if you fucking, like, you go in there and your mind's not fucking right,
I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
not gonna do it already.
like, if you got to be scared of it. You got to be like, I'm going to ice this shit right now, you know? And I said, do the same thing when I get in the shower. I was like, I'm going to ice this shit, because I'm going to fucking do it.
Right. And it's like I said, it's the same way. You're training a different direction, which is technically your brain's way of going. That's harder to go. But then you're like, if you do it over and over, it's like, now those synapses get stronger, and the signal gets stronger. So now it goes that way, and it like reroutes itself. And it's just, once I realized that, because it sounded so stupid to me, dude. Like, I was sitting there, and I love Jason. Jason's my therapist guy. And I'm like, that sounds easy. Like, you know what I mean? And he goes, yeah, but like, it takes time to learn to, like, catch the bad thought, like, fact check it, and then send it a good way. So like you said, like, you're catching this thought that's like, I don't know if I can do it. You're fact checking, you know, 2 days ago I did this much. I can totally do this one. Like, you're fact checking the things in your head, and then you send it the other way, and you go, I'm gonna ice this shit. Like, that's a different direction. So it's like doing that over and over is just this consistent behavior that develops a good athlete, a good motivated person, whatever you want. And like I said, I think both avenues are there for you. The fighting on the February 4th, like, you're gonna ice this dude, and then not only you have everything else planned for you, and you're putting your family, you know, first, even in a game that's kind of selfish when it comes to MMA, because it's like, it's you and the other person in the cage. But I think you have a beautiful family, a beautiful future, and thanks for coming on to talk, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the platform. Yeah.
I hope this was the vibe.
Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And if you have anything to plug.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my gym, Strong Barbell Club, they're awesome. Like, they're doing classes now. We're out in off of Merriam Drive in Kansas out there.
Oh, sweet.
They're really cool, great group. It's another It's another thing where it's like people go, it's like a powerlifting, it's a strength sports gym mostly.
Right.
People go in, they're so intimidated, but it's like the greatest group of people. Everybody's so helpful.
Is it like who's that Swedish dude who's just giant? Like the strong man, where's like the strongest man in the world?
I mean, I think the strongest man in the world is Brian Shaw. But, but yeah, there are strongman competitions, mostly power lifters, a lot of Olympic weightlifters, and then we got some more people who are just kind of tapping in now that we moved to this giant location. But JP Price owns that gym. He walked out 1,000 pounds and squatted it. So. Yeah, it's gangster. Yeah, we literally, like, you keep talking about like all the talent in Kansas City. There are some of the best like bodybuilders and some of the best like strength sports athletes out here.
Tell them about us.
Yeah, in Kansas City. So you could definitely get some of those people to tap in as well.
Shit, maybe I'll just walk in one day and be like, Ty's here, and I'll be like, teach me. Where's the PVC pipe?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I do want to kind of tap into real quick is just like everybody wants to like you see the way I train and you see the way that a lot of these other guys train. Like I think other people are training, just as harder than me. But nobody, like, everyone wants to train like a pro, but nobody wants to recover like a pro.
No.
You motherfuckers want to go to bed late. You guys want to eat some bullshit ass food. It's like, wait, I'm 29, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm up there in age. Like, as far as there's salt on the hall out here, dude.
No shit.
Hell yeah.
Are you lying?
I'm not lying. I'm 29 years old.
Gosh.
So yeah, like wait till you turn like 26, 27. Wait till all that starts turning around. Like, you're gonna start like really having these issues, and that's when people quit. It's because like you have to take your recovery, you have to take your nutrition and like the timing that you're eating before practice. All that has to be like fucking honed in, because you can fiddle fuck around, in your early 20s and do fine. Like, I used to drink energy drinks and shit before practice. I used to drink an energy drink before I would go to track meets, and I'd run the 4x8. Like, yeah. And I don't fuck with none of that anymore. I don't ever drink sugar. I don't do any of that. So you have to know, like, if you really like what do you want? Because I want to train, right? And if anything's gonna get in the fucking way of that, like, I'm not doing it. Right. Period.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's a stigma, at least for me, because that's what I used to do too. When I was going to Gladstone, I'm like every day it was like large, like a rain or like a large energy drink with like 400 milligrams of caffeine or some shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, maybe my heart hurts a little bit right now.
Right. And it's just like you're jacking yourself up, and like, we don't even have the tools to like lower that, it's like you don't need, like, we're already overstimulated. You're going to a gym to like fight people, you're already in that sympathetic nervous system state, and like you got to learn how to like hone that down. Like, if anything, you need to like bring all that shit down. So it's like, we're on your phones and you're on, driving. All this is just so like, it's just like, everything's already super tense. Like, you really, like, there are skills to like deal with your anxieties, and like psychology is like really just like misunderstood physiologies. And so I dove deep into that, just like, what is happening to me? Like, why do my legs feel like this before I'm gonna go fight?
Right.
Oh, guess what? I can fucking do something about that.
Yeah.
And I can practice it, like, because I don't like, I don't feel that scared nervousness, like that jello feeling like at the gym, but I can kind of recreate that same stress and then like bring it back down just by like knowing how to properly breathe. Everybody's like, take a deep breath, like that. You already have enough oxygen,
right?
You got to actually kind of hold your breath. You need to breathe out longer than you're breathing in. You need to shut your mouth and breathe through your fucking nose, like, because there's no value in breathing through your mouth except for getting more oxygen in. But if you can't offload the carbon dioxide in your system, you're not.
Are you literally like suffocating yourself?
No, it's just like,
because you're holding too much in than you're supposed to.
And it's like, you like, oxygen molecules are bigger than like there's 3 times as much like carbon dioxide molecules in your system than there is like oxygen. So like, when oxygen is replacing that, and you're taking these deep breaths in, you just can't shove you don't have the time. You can't shove all that oxygen in there, and you're not even in an aerobic state anymore. You're in an anaerobic state, so you're burning glucose. So you need to calm all that down and just like start breathing through your nose, slow it all down. Yeah. But everybody's like, take a deep breath. But you need to be doing the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So like, they understand that like, you can calm yourself down through breath, but they're not doing it properly.
Holy mother of...
Yeah, dude. I can get deep in the woods. I love this shit. But anyways, yeah. So I would like to shout out Calvin. He's my nutritionist. He does it for free. He's like, I've never worked with a fighter, and like he's not helping me with my weight cut. I can do that on my own. That's another thing. I don't fucking like a lot of these guys cut weight with friends. I don't do that shit.
No,
I cut weight all by myself every single time. I've never cut weight with someone else.
Dude, that's so mentally tough. Like as a person,
I'm fighting by myself. I'm gonna cut weight by myself.
Right.
So yeah, Calvin. You can hit him up on his Instagram or whatever. Hit me up and I'll send you his way. He's a really cool, awesome guy. He helps me out. I'm just grateful for the gym. I'm grateful for my family, man, and
I can feel it. Like I feel like it's like a piece that I'm grateful to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like transitional, and I'm like, now I'm breathing wrong.
It's a deep path to go down, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I know that you got, like I said, I don't know what your time frame is, but does it feel like it's been like?
I got time.
You got time?
Yeah.
Do you want to go into how deep is this pool of breathing?
Dude, there's just so many other things. I mean,
because if you like it, we can come back and set up another one.
We can set up another one, and we can talk.
Dope.
Dude, I love training modalities. I love
Sweet.
mobility. I love like recovery. Like I can talk about that shit. I could do like a whole other like 2-hour podcast on that.
Let's
but
fucking
yeah, so you can hit me up. But here, I would like to leave you with something.
Excellent.
So this is a quote from this guy, the Kaufman guy. So his name's Ewan Marion Kaufman.
Yeah. Right.
So my girlfriend actually, she went to college for free based on the Kaufman Foundation. She's inner city kid. So she earned that, and I kind of dove into this guy. So I'd like to put this out there for you.
Let's do it.
It is your right to be uncommon if you can. You desire to take the calculated risk, to dream, to build, yes, even to fail, and to succeed.
And holy shit. Yeah. I'm trying to, of course, at the end of the podcast, I'm like, I see a quote and I was like, it's just like, and then dead noise. Mm-hmm. But so I'm going to ask one question because it just came to me. Mm-hmm. So you met her here.
Yeah.
Cindy?
At the gym.
At the gym?
She hit me up, dude, because I was out there dancing. She sent me a message on Instagram. She said, I like your dance moves and your tattoos. And I was like, what's up? Yeah.
She goes, and then you go on a date with her because immediately she likes dancing and tattoos. I'm in. Mm-hmm. But I bet she also saw how great of a dad you were. So,
probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first thing. Yeah.
I mean, again, the clock doesn't lie, dude. You're either doing it or you're not. The truth will come out eventually.
Exactly. Ty, thank you, brother, for being here.
Dude, I appreciate it, man.
Of course, we're setting this up next time.
Hell yeah.
I got personal questions about